Kotchakorn Voraakhom, what an amazing person she is. Kotchakorn is a landscape architect from Bangkok, Thailand, who works on building productive green public space that tackles climate change in urban dense areas and climate vulnerable communities. She is the chairwoman of the Climate Change Working Group of the International Federation of Landscape Architects. Kotchakorn established Porous City Network in 2017 with a goal to increase Bangkok's resilience to climate change, in particular to living with flooding. She has been recognised on Time's 100 Next 2019 list that spotlights 100 rising stars who are shaping the future of the world, and is on the list of 15 women fighting against climate change from Time. In 2020, she was on BBC's 100 Women list and was awarded the UN Global Climate Action Award, Women for Results, and the Green 30 for 2020 by Bloomingbird, and a speaker at the recent COP26 conference. Yeah, just an amazing person. I'm sure many of you have seen some of Kotchakorn's TED Talks, and if not, they are impressive. One of the things that really spoke to me was a few words at the end of one of them, where she emphasises the importance of speaking from the heart and being led by the heart. I'm inspired by her deserved accolades and achievements, but more so by seeing what a person can achieve when empowered with strong values, creative flair, and a sensitive awareness of the needs of our environment when led by the heart. Kotchakorn has become a leader, an environmental voice and representative of our profession. Taking the lead requires bravery, strength, passion, heart, tenacity, and a spirit that keeps pushing even when the wall is impossibly high. It also takes others. Leading can feel dangerous, lonely, scary. Support is paramount to success, and big ideas require unified teams to ensure great outcomes. Bothamiskal are pleased to have played a part in bringing Kotchakorn to Aotearoa, Whakatu, and our conference. We are inspired by her values and her passion, her love for landscapes, and her innovative creativity. As a team, we aspire to ensure our values are at the core of our work. We understand the challenges we all face with climate change and will continue to learn and grow so that we can be responsive and effective advocates for our environment. I would also like to think that these sentiments are shared by everyone in this room. After all, Kotch is one of us. We are a landscape architecture family that share a deep love of the environment, the earth, of people, and of place. There is power when the many unite for a common cause. When asked if we can heal this planet in this lifetime, Kotch says yes, and perhaps together we can make that happen. It is an extreme honour to be able to introduce Kotchakorn, who will speak to us today about global and local climate change adaptation design. So please welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Luke, for such a above and beyond introduction. And can I stand on the ground? Yeah, I think the bush would be my height like this. Yeah, so thank you for having me. So I would want to say tēnā koto, tēnā koto, tēnā koto katoa. So thank you for having me, and it feels so good to be on the ground. Yes, the land itself. So I really like the topic, growing pains. I think we all have pains. And the pains define who we are more than anything else. This is my team, 12 of us, looking very young still. Yes, so I just want to acknowledge them because I couldn't have done what I'm doing without none of these people. Your land is beautiful, and mine too. So this is Bangkok. Whoever been to Bangkok? Ooh, okay, สวัสดีค่ะ Yes. So yeah, we are Delta City, very flat. And this is maybe the image of how you recall your land. So people call us amphibious. Like we know how to live on the wet and dry. We are perfect, adapt to that. And this is my experience when I was young. So I can't remember, maybe 6, 7. But that's a flood, and that's my parking ground. So that's like my playground. When it's flood, it's very fun. But in 2011, it's different. The experience has become from good to bad. Maybe it's called pain, because at that time it's like 2011, and I'm actually living with my sick mother, and she couldn't touch all this water because she's gonna go infected and die. So I think this is like millions of people coherent relationship with flood. So it used to be good and then turned to pain. But yes, before dive into Thailand, let me bring you to COP26, which was taking place in Glasgow. So right after COVID, we're not sure what it is yet. This global reconvene happened. So there's like 3,000 our leaders there, and I'm lucky that I got one ticket, a seat for landscape architect. But just realized that it's only one, and the first one through the COP, who's talking about climate change, making our decision for all of us. And this is outside. The young people not young or whoever shouting, don't fail us. And yes, we have hygiene kits, and all this photo is from my phone. So William is like this close. I see his bowl. No, I see. Like, is it real? No, I'm just kidding. And this is a remark opening from Sir David Attenborough.
A new industrial revolution powered by millions of sustainable innovations is essential and is indeed already beginning. We will all share in the benefits: affordable clean energy, healthy air, and enough food to sustain us all. Nature is a key ally. Wherever we restore the wild, it will recapture carbon and help us bring back balance to our planet. And as we work to build a better world, we must acknowledge no nation has completed its development, because no advanced nation is yet sustainable. All have a journey still to complete, so that all nations have a good standard of living and a modest footprint. We're going to have to learn together how to achieve this, ensuring none are left behind. We must use this opportunity to create a more equal world, and our motivation should not be fear, but hope.
Can we fix climate problem in one generation? My answer would be yes, we have to.
We need to not just to talk about what we can do, but to do what we can.
This is a challenge that we should try to solve in a quick way with a long-term vision.
It comes down to this: the people alive now are the generation to come. Will look at this conference and consider one thing: did that number stop rising and start to drop as a result of commitments made here? There's every reason to believe that the answer can be yes. If working apart, we are force powerful enough to destabilize our planet, surely working together, we are powerful enough to save it. In my lifetime, I've witnessed a terrible decline. In yours, you could and should witness a wonderful recovery. That desperate hope, ladies and gentlemen, delegates, excellency, is why the world is looking to you and why you are here. Thank you.
Yes, I feel that that's why we are here together. And with his remarks, and I'm only get like 10 seconds, but that's all like we can get as a landscape architects. At that year, I was awarded as a UN Global Climate Action Award for nature-based solution for increased urban adaptabilities. And yeah, I was there representing IFLA for commitment about the climate change with all other leader professional association like AIA, American Association, ASHLA, and many more. And that's one landscape architect. Represent 77 nations, represent Bruno, that time was James. So representing, and yeah, that's my team on IFLA Climate Action Working Group. And yeah, that was the experience at COP, was wonderful. But I just feel that there's not many of us talking who knows the solution, and they are talking about finding solution. So I feel that all of us should be there. So back to Thailand, why I'm in the COPs, and there's so many other reasons, not only just because I'm landscape architect, but also as a woman and as a Thai. So this is our country, and this is our watershed. And you can see Bangkok is right in the end of the whole watershed. So that's called Delta City. So this is the river, so water go through our city, have to. And this is the flood in 2011, where I show you the picture, the worst one in Thailand, in our history. And you can see that Bangkok is not getting wet if you pay enough attention. So what's happened? What's happened there? Who's flood? So we try to keep Bangkok from getting wet and flood all of Thais. So yeah, this happened. So this is the upstream people in Ayutthaya and many places. And as at 3 water cities, we also have problem with rains. It doesn't rain very regularly, and we are based with an agriculture country. So it's quite challenging. How's the rice gonna grow? And we also have sea level rise. And if you pay attention enough, Bangkok is not too far. So maybe next time you visit Bangkok, you don't need to go to Phuket. There's a shore there. There's the beach there. So that's all the shrimp farm. So every shrimp you eat is actually that's our mangrove degradation. So this is Bangkok boundary. It's no longer on land. So we need to get the boat and touch the mark that we used to be there. And there's so many more solutions of coastal erosion that is creating more pain, right? Growing pain is you don't learn from what's been wrong, and then it's growing. The pain is growing. And this is how big we are as a city of Delta. And this is normal. If you visit Bangkok in the rainy season, this is very normal situation. And this is even more normal and classic, that our friends coming out and have fun for 5 to 10 minutes and then going back to where they belong. But Thai people are so creative. We are very resilient people, amphibious. We can find many ways to figure out and live with flood. But the problem is the urban infrastructure. Our city is actually make us not resilient anymore. And we confronting with many other issues like PM 2.5. You guys are like, what PM 2.5 here? PM 2.5 is like the small particle in the air, that pollution that can go directly to your lung. It's so small. And it's happened twice a year, when it's a burning crop seasons, when Cambodia burn their crops and flow to Thailand, when Burma burn their crops and flow to Thailand. And we also burn our crops as well. So this pain is actually transboundaries. It's among all of us. It's not about we can be better off, but the pain is actually a collective karma that we create. This is the morning that you cannot even see further than 5 meters, like it's all foggy. COVID, and this is the impact of the climate change that is triple its impact in the same year of study. So that means it's getting worse 2 times. But in a global scale, we only emit carbon 0.8 comparing to the 100%. Who burned the most? It's not you. So it's not you. So like, yeah. But we are the 8th on the list of the extreme weather. Are we deserving that? We bring you rice, shrimps, and other good food, but this is what we get. I think we either adapt or die.
During the high tide, for example, the sea level is already higher than Bangkok.
Bangkok has situated on the soft clay, and there are layer of clay and sand. We don't have any rock layer. Some area, especially Bangkapi area, has been sunk for 1 meter already.
We don't concern much about our natural waterways, which is canal. So that means we neglect about how the water will drain. This is part of the solution that can be replicated in other city or within the city, that we need more space, more place to hold the water. I think there's so much work to be done, and we need to act faster. We have to be very more action-oriented rather than just keep all this research of climate change with on the shelf. So the policy maker or the community have to come together. It's a good start, but it's definitely not enough. Yes, so I think we're talking about 15 million people city. And this is the park I finished in 2017, maybe 6 years ago. And it's the first park in 30 years of Bangkok. Some of you haven't born yet, but many, yes. So yeah, you can see how concrete we are and how little we care about our quality of life and parks or environments, but it's related to in many. So this is Chulalongkorn Centenary Park, and it's a competition in 2012 that we won. And I remember having only 4 person, including me, in the team. And we finished the park by the idea of we are flat, so we inclined the whole park to collect every drops of rain. So that's why in Thai we call monkey chick. Like you store the water and then you eat the food when you're hungry. So the city need to act like that within the flood situation. We have green roof, wetland, retention pond working as one system, and we hiding the rainwater tank underneath this park. And this is the wetland. This is not very normal experience for a child like myself. And this retention can double its size when it's flood. And it still keep out the water, helping the public sewage and public drainage. And this is the wet and dry season. We don't have spring, we don't have winter, we only have wet and dry. So this is the wet and dry season. And yes, to incline, it's not so much about the design itself, but it's the water itself, but it's also about the people use and the younger generations love to come to this park and gather and have the concert. So how one solution can answer all. So yeah, the tree growing keeps changing every day. It's also including the street, the first one that reduced the vehicle lanes to the pedestrian. The land is so expensive there. By this time, the land, 11 acres there, should cost $1,000 million US. Yes, it's right downtown Bangkok. And I'm so honored that Mr. Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary, came and giving the support to the local solutions. It's a big thing. And the park itself has become a case study to many other countries, and I'm talking about many other developing countries like us that need to step up, finding themselves their own solution rather than corrupted buying solution from other rich countries. And that technology is not working in our land with cultural maintenance and the way people use the space. And this is another problem. And I think one thing I love about COVID, of course, it's not all good, but it's put everyone in the world on the same ground, same shoes, right? Either you're rich, you have a higher GDP, I have the lowest GDP in the world, we are in the same shoe, right? So I think in the food aspect, if you think about Thailand, it's just like a food culture. We have 24 hours, you can eat whenever you want on the street. No, this is different scenarios. Like there's also about poverty and many other things. Many people still can't access to a good food. So I think as a landscape, what can you do? So we using this project, we using this project to express the wet space in the city, like the rooftop that's all concrete can actually be part of the solution. How many square meters that create us more problem in terms of urban heat island, right? When we have PM 2.5, the heat, the air condition, the energy efficient in the building, this space can actually be the source of food, the source of energy, the thoughts of how you slow down the runoff 20 times to save the city from flooding. And it's the biggest one in Asia. Yeah, Asia, including Singapore. Yes, yeah, they're so green that we are very jealous. So yes, and it's actually coming from a very normal wisdom, and I'm so grateful how people respect those who come before. So this is like the rice terraces that practice in all over Southeast Asia and South America. And this is how they learn to live with rain, right? They slow down the rain, they grow food. But for us, we move the mountain from elsewhere to put into the building. That thing should reaccess mountain function. Not just look green, but also create food. This is on the rooftop, and this is a younger generation. They should see the possibility. They should have hope from our generation. And this thing slow down runoff 20 times. 1 minute become 20, 5 minutes become 100 minutes. So and doing that, you get food, organic. And people are like asking me, oh, the food's so cheap in Thailand, no one want to become a farmer anymore. But the problem is we are top 5 client for Monsanto. Yes, so cancer has been the top rate from the death from our people for decades. So somewhat have to come from food, and this is organic. So I think there's so much to be learned and relearn from stop the pain to grow. The pain should go to something else. And answer the public green space with all the activities that can happen. And I'm so glad that in 2020, it's become the year best in the architecture category. So that means architect, we need to work together more to come up with landscape architects to come up with innovation. Yes, so the other thing I care so much about is canal. Okay, let me switch to this side. Okay, good. So the other thing is canal, and I think we cannot talk about the city of water by not fixing the problem of canals. And this is what canal used to be. This is what the landscape, and I'm talking about only 70 years ago. Yes. And now this is what it's looked like, canal. Trash, drain, dirty waters, and do all this function for the city. So what can we do when people neglect the canal and complain about flood and don't want to get wet? Oh my gosh. More pains. So this is what it looks like. And we neglect the canal, dump into the roads, and do many other things. It's like the body. You cut out all your veins. How could you breathe? The land no longer be able to be porous to breathe. And we cut all the connection of the canal and use the pump. So this is the previous Bangkok governor. So I convinced him during the COVID. And of course, the canal smells so bad. We're on the bridge, and then the smell is just like coming up. And this is right downtown CBD, but it's the most dirtiest canal in the country. How could that possible? So I convinced him to turn all this dirty into growing pain to be something else. So, and with this hidden weapon of the water plant treatment that produced reused water and then dump it into the river with no use, so we put it back into the system of the canal. So canal would have a good fresh, no, not fresh, but decent water as an input into the system, and using to park to be part of connecting all these systems once again. Yep, so this is it, and this is, when is it? Last year, yes. It's opened last year with the connecting to the city SkyTrain as well. And this is the canal look like right now. And this is right CBD. We deserve this. Thai people deserve this. The most expensive space in the city should be livable. And it's still a long way to go. We only finished one small section of it, and hopefully to finish the whole thing by the time I'm still alive. But yes, but yeah, it's so sad to say, but it's very funny that it's the first canal in Bangkok to think about the park. How could that happen? Yes, and the other canal, of course, with the same governor. We restore the existing canal, the historic one that used to be part of the city. This is how Thai people live. Like we love water. Everywhere is water if you go, right? Canals. And now when the government thinking about to separate this water development and the land-based development, they build fence. Like you don't need to talk to canal anymore. Right? It's such a dirty part, turn your back. And this is what happened. It's become no man's place, no man's land place, right? Oh my gosh, this is the historical canal. Oh, this is so beautiful, but you can see a lot of homeless. They're not part of us, but they shouldn't be there because of the wrong design. So this is like a 10-meter section. This is the people who I have to talk to. And what slows us down from the climate solution is not about the solution itself, but it's about bureaucracy. 35 already, oh my gosh, okay, I'll be quick. It's about the bureaucracy behind how we practice the solution. And I'm sure if you're in the public sector, you already know what things improve so slowly. So break the cycle. Yes, we have to scream and then hit and then talk to all these people. Of course, I have like thousands of this picture, but eventually be able to destroy I call China Wall of Bangkok. It's, yes, to become just a normal, simple design. Yes, where we can stay and live and sit next to the canals. Okay, I go fast. Yes, and we see the movie across the canals and it's recently got the UN Habitat Award from the Cityscape, which is great. And this is another leftover big abandoned infrastructure 40 years ago. I was probably like 1 or 2 years old and don't know about this structure. But at that time, the government promised, we're gonna have SkyTrain, the first country in Southeast Asia, and we're gonna build this bridge and have this structure left so to connect with the SkyTrain. 40 years later, nothing happened. Yes. And it's called amputated. It's not the right word, but in Thai they say there's no head, no tail. No one can go and see that structure or even access to that structure. What can we do? So we say, okay, let's do it again, connect the park. This is all the team that we're working together. And this is right, the palm connection between Bangkok and Bangkok Old Town. And that bridge is like the name under the founder of Bangkok. So you can see this significant location of this project. So it's so narrow, it's only 8 meters, 230 in length. So we shift it into a solution that become a park itself. And raise it up so people don't see the traffic, and it's access to the river once again. And you can say, oh, Bangkok River is part of each other. But for us, as a citizen, we cannot access the river because it's either belong to the private sector 5-star hotel, maybe some of you stay there, you can see the river but not us, or informal settlement. So for the majority of the people in Bangkok couldn't access to the river. So this is another way for them to like enjoy with no cost. And this is like during the countdown. It's become a very popular destination right now. From reuse what you have, what paint you have, grow from that paint. Yes, this is a big pain in 40 years, for 40 years. And sometimes you don't even know where's the wound. So the previous generation had to tell you that, go use that structure, it's useless. And I think one thing that I really, as a practice, is be part of who I am, and is people. And I'm not only serving, and there's no nature-based solution without people part of it, because who's gonna take care of this? So my practice also involved the flooded canal community, sea level rise, and the floodplain inland, which is like thousands of them, millions of them in Thai. And this is those who work, who stay along the canals, and this is right downtown. But government want to expand the canal to fix the flooding problems and displace all these people. And they are somewhat informal settlements, but they stay there for 50 or 60 years, and now they have to move. So, yeah. So we go there and help them fixing solution. Of course, there's like conflict, but what is the solution? We're helping find out that common ground and have them in communication. And I have my team as my students, bringing them to be part of the conversation so they don't feel that they have to serve only private sector, those who pay them or sign the contract. All this work is so much pro bono work. And so they learn. That lady passed away during the COVID very sadly because of, like they live in a very dense area. And the first part of this project, which has been talking for like almost 10 years, just happened in one phase that they have changed. And then the coastal community, this is another bad situation of fishermen village along the coast of Thailand. They grow into ocean. So it's illegal because it's not part of the land. But how could they be displaced? And if you displace one, that means you displace 7,000 of other villages. So this is the first villages that we in conversation and trying to help them stay where they are, and they stay in the narrow parts of Thailand and Cambodia, so they couldn't move up on land because it's not our country and there's so much bomb trap. And then it's like, oh, you're so dirty, you should move. But no, it's an ocean trash coming from many places that be part of this, and they're not allowed to fix their home because they're illegal. Okay, oh, sorry, I didn't have time much, but we're helping them. Yes, we're helping them and come up with the solution. And this is like one of our researchers talking about how we can be part of this carbon credit and making these people as part of the solution. So we mimic that and finding the local solution to lower the wave, and then by staying there, helping government fixing the mangrove legally. So that's what the solution. And the government used this project to present at the UN Habitat Day. So they commit to work with the people and work with this solution. Yep, so it's the hardest type of project we're dealing with, but it's take time because there's more people, and it's related to the nation policy, but I think we need to do as a landscape architects. Yes, and we succeed, so they have the permission. The real paper is like the A4 paper, but they're so happy that they enlarge it into like a sheet of, yes. So the floodplains, also another problems that people think dams will help fix everything. So we said, we've been called and said, okay, let's do this. Okay, this is 400 million baht dams, and we're gonna build this so we don't flood. But I say, wait a minute, you're going to flood other people more because it's the same amount of the water. And you're going to flood yourself because it's rain. So if you put the dam, so what do you need 400 million baht for? It's like 10 million US. And I just like, this is what it looks like. This is what you're going to get with 400 million baht if you accept it. And then they all like, really? You know, like the local people might feel that, oh, we get the solution and they don't care about it. No, but they need to see what's going on and what's going to change their life. This is what's going to look like. And this is what's going to look like when it's rain. And this is Jakarta, that eventually the government paved the canal. They thought that the flood's going to come to the river. No, it's come everywhere. So it's flooding people in the dam. So it's either dam, yeah, crazy. So, and I show this picture. And this is the future you want your daughter, your grandchildren to have. And it just makes sense that they don't want 400 million baht anymore. But that's what landscape can do, convince to the right solution. I normally use this image because I'm present a lot in the US, and I would ask, where does this image come from? New Orleans, yes. So we don't want to be like you. So yeah, and this is in Jakarta. We keep making the same mistake, going the pains all over and over again. So I think the first thing is not even think about the solution, but stop doing the thing that's going to cause you more pain. And this is us, Southeast Asia. Yes, we are sinking. Maybe we will move to New Zealand. No, I'm sorry. But thinking about millions of people who need to be on ground, what's going to happen? Oh, I think it's the world try to divide about mitigation and adaptation. No, we're talking about the same thing, same pains. And about development conservation, it's the same thing. Right? It's not about environmental issue, it's everything. It's not about city or heritage. We are flood. We confronting the same things now. So engineer solution, stop some of that and trying to integrate how can we regenerate the nature. And definitely break the cycle. Yes, you have to, landscape have to have a hammer as well, not only just the plant. And yeah, it's not about one generation, it's about intergenerational. It's about who are living in this planet right now. We are all together. The younger generation, my future is depend on you, and your future is depend on me as well. So I think we need to be team.
We are at the point
and this is my closing video,
and
I'm
living in the city.
Sawadee my name is Kotchakorn Voraakhom. I'm a landscape architect from Bangkok, Thailand. The Chulalongkorn Centenary Park, that was my first public park, and I feel so proud of this project. For Chula, we actually just incline the whole park. It's so simple that we call it gravity. And we're actually using the whole park to collect every drops of rain. When we change into Thammasat University project, we are using the same concept of gravity because it's the cheapest technology that we can find on Earth. But for Thammasat University rooftop, we're actually using the rice terraces to slow down the runoff, to really help to grow food. My inspiration of my design and being a landscape architect is nature. And I think there is so much to learn. It's not only just the form and then the color and its beauty, but it's also its function. How can we mimic those kind of function to really be part of how we create our city? Bangkok is in ranking of one of the most at-risk city of climate change. And I just feel that we are fighting with water in many directions. The rain, the water from the north, the water from the ocean, the sea level rise. I think we're gonna sink. But we're gonna live with water again. We used to live with water, right? So this flooded canal community, they actually been most affected community during the Great Flood in 2011. Landprocess Canal is one of the main canals that put all the runoff from the inner city of Bangkok into Jakarta River. I think they probably have to be in the flood water for like 2 to 3 months, the minimums during that time. Even the seasonal rain get their community to flood. So the governments have this policy to widening the canal so the flood water can flow through quickly and they have more capacity to actually contain more water. Yep. But that means the displacement of all the community. In the future, this will be dams and paved, and that area will be canal. คุณตาคะสวัสดีค่ะโอ้ใช่ They just moved in like 2 weeks ago. I really disagree with the dam structure that's gonna pave all the canal in Bangkok. I think it's such bad solution that going to create more problems for us, for the future of this city. But so much we can do, we cannot change the national policy. Right now, what we try to do is to help the community negotiate with the government to be displaced and then return back to their neighborhood. And for the Landprocess Canal community, we actually succeed on doing that. You saw that compound, the new, before they live like this. So I'm graduated from Thailand. At that time, I just feel like I want to become a great landscape architect. That's my dream. So I pushed myself to get a job in the good firms, pushed myself to go into Harvard. And when I get things done, my checklist dreams, and I just feel like I'm still feel so empty. I'm lucky to confront with the Great Flood in 2011. And it's really questioning myself, what can you do as a landscape architect? Being resilient is not about being in one stage. It's like you dance with nature. The floods used to be the source of food, the source of fertilization. The changing of the way we live as a city in these past 30 or 50 years, we completely turn our back to this natural change and call it disaster. We're working in something so doable, but I think we have to have more people advocate for this and create Bangkok the way we love, not Bangkok the way it is. I'm done. Do we have Q&A?
We're going to do some of this.
We have 5 minutes.
We've got 5 minutes for a few questions. Just thanks for such a inspiring and relevant presentation. It's certainly topical for us, given the events earlier this year in our country. So we've got 5 minutes for a couple of questions. I think there's some microphones kicking around the room and one here if people would like to ask a question.
Anything.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
One of those amazing projects that you showed us, you said, I believe, that you convinced the mayor of during COVID and opened it in 2022. How? That's a huge amount of work in a very short span of time. and I'm just curious as to how you delivered that amazing project so quickly.
Well, I guess I'm still learning as well. So I think many great projects in my country and in many other countries, you have to, it's a public project, so you have to feel the rhythm of politics as well, which I'm not good at it, but so when the opportunity comes during the COVID, I feel that all of us know that something's gonna happen at the end, but we don't know yet what it is. And I just feel that the city could not be paused. We're talking about 15 million people city. And yeah, I happened by chance, this is by chance, just to get to know the governor and have in conversation with him. And when you can, of course, you need to convince many other people as a landscape architects and doing one project. But when you convince one right people, you have a big impact. So I think it's like based on fear that what's gonna happen next, we kind of just stopped waiting till that thing to happen. We need to create our city, waiting until the tourists coming back, and many other things that people as a resident have to have life as well. Bangkok is the best place for tourists, but it's the worst place for residents, right? How could that happen? And I think you have that kind of 1 minute elevator pitch that you just have to get it. And luckily, we're lucky for him to listen. And I'm not sure when the next opportunity will come again, you know? It's not like a private sector job that you sign contract and then keep continues. So yeah, that's the benefit for all.
That was a good question and a good answer and perfect timing. Thank you, Koch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Boffa School, for making that happen. One last round of applause for Koch.
Thank you, Boffa.